And likewise, alhamdulillah, this is our deen. And the deen which is explained by the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the understanding of the companions. The best people, as the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, hadith in Bukhari, خَيْرُ النَّاسِ قَرْنِي ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ يَلُونَهُمْ ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ يَلُونَهُم. The best people is my generation, then them to come after them, then them to come after them. They're the best people. So we ascribe ourselves to them. We are Salafi. There's no harm in saying this, that you are Salafi. Why should you be ashamed in saying that you are Salafi? You're ascribing yourself to the best of the people. Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah said in Majmu' Fatawa, volume 4, page 149, لا عيب لمن أظهر منهج السلف ومذهب السلف واعتز إليه. There's no shame upon the one who has made apparent for him the madhab al-salaf, the way of the salaf, for him to follow. And he ascribes to it. So when you say salaf, and the ya at the end is ya nisba, ya of ascription, it just means I ascribe to their way. I want to follow their way. So what's harmful? What's problem with that? People have no shame and no harm in saying I'm Brittani or Ameriki or Maghrabi or Libi, whatever. They have no harm in saying that, ascribing to a country. So why should you feel shame in ascribing to the best of the people? خير الناس والسابقون الأولون من المهاجرين والأنصار والذين اتبعوهم بإحسان. Those who follow them upon righteousness, the sabiqun al-awwalun, the muhajirun and the ansar. Don't we want to be followers of them? Ibn Uthaymeen rahimahullah says in Aqidah al-Wasatiyya, page 34, in his explanation of it, he says, whoever follows the Quran and the Sunnah in the understanding of the Salaf, then he is Salafi. Imam al-Dhahabi rahimahullah mentioned in Sirr A'lam al-Nubala, he said, Abdullah ibn Mubarak as-Salafi. What's the problem? They used to describe each other like that in the past, more than 700 years ago. It's not something which just came just now. The Prophet himself said to his daughter Fatima radiallahu anha, Ni'ma ana salaf laki. What a blessed salaf I am for you. So what is the problem that the people have? And wallahi, we saw some people 15 years ago, they used to say this. You know where they are now? They are with the Sufis, cooperating with them, with TJ Winters and this Abdul Hakim Murad, in the same platform, calling to them. And they have a website called Ibn Jawziyah Institute, where they call to the bid'ah beads and they call to celebrating the Prophet's birthday. The same person, Abu Aliyah, who used to have manhaj classes in Walthamstow. And then they left the ulama, and they said, don't call yourself Salafi. And then that was the beginning. And then they started following Safar and Salman, some of those younger individuals who came with new things, selling his books. I said to him, why do you sell Salman al-Auda's book in your shop? He said, what's wrong? He's this, and started making excuse for him. Salman al-Aud in this book, which is called, This is How the Prophets Taught. هَكَذَا عَلَّمُ الْأَنْبِيَاءِ. And the translator, Dawud Abdullah, he translated it incorrect. A better translation said, this is how the prophets taught. He wrote, thus taught the prophets. And then he said, these have been in prison and so on in the opening chapters. House arrest and so on. And he said, this is the way of the ulama. No, it's not the way of the ulama just to be imprisoned. Some of the ulama were imprisoned, some were not in the past. So this is not the greatest harm that befalls the alim. The greatest harm that befell the Messenger ﷺ was what? Was not even Uhud. The greatest harm that befell the Rasul ﷺ was when he was mocked. And those same Ahl Bid'ah who raised the people who are imprisoned, the same Ahl Bid'ah who raised them, are the same ones who mock the ulama. So which is worse, to be imprisoned or to be mocked? Shaykh Rabi showed this in Manhaj al-Anbiya, in his book, Methodology of the Prophets. He showed this. And if you didn't catch it, then see it now, because this is so important for us. Because the ulama, they are the inheritors of the prophets. And they're the ones who strive the most. It's not necessarily they have to be in prison for them to be ulama. Alim is one who is recognized by the other ulama as ulama. The Messenger ﷺ said in a hadith which is in Sunan Abi Dawood, Inna Allah yab'athu ala ra'si al-qarn man yujaddidu lil umma umura dinaha. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raised at the head of every century those who revive the deen as a whole. So who's the head of the century? Safar Salman was still in there, still children. How could they be mujaddidun? But the ulama, the likes of Sheikh Albani rahimahullah, Sheikh bin Baz rahimahullah, and Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen rahimahullah, they were in their 60s. They were at that age. And they revived the deen as a whole. Their books on the 6 pillars of Iman, as well as the 5 pillars of Islam. they have left behind in their durus. Salaamullah. And that book that he had in there, هكذا علم الأنبياء بس you know what he has in there? A chapter heading. He says there are two types of shirk. The modern shirk and the primitive shirk. Since when did the Sahaba or Tabi'een, since when did we find any of the ulama categorize shirk like this? Two types of shirk. The modern and the primitive. The primitive is the shirk of idols and those who call upon other than Allah. As if that doesn't happen now. This is modern as well. And he said the modern day shirk is the shirk of rulers not ruling by Allah's law. This is his focus. Focus of politics. And this is why when he praised those who are like him in politics, he praised them. Like Sayyid Qutb, he said, from A'immat al-Huda, the scholars of guidance, he called them. So we have to be with the ulama. Wallahi, we have to be with the ulama. Tooth and nail. Bite onto this deen. عليكم بسنتي وسنة الخلفاء الراشدين المهديين من بعدي. عضوا عليها بالنواجد. Bite onto it with the molar teeth. We have to be on this manhaj, this methodology, this aqidah, with our molar teeth, before people come and they lead us away. And also we don't fall into the other extreme of being too harsh, of leaving the ulama, of thinking that we have opinions that need to be listened. Who are we? We are in need of the ulama. We are not ulama. So we are in need of them, to ask them and to go back to them when we have differences amongst ourselves. Otherwise we don't know what bid'ah is and what sunnah is. Sometimes we fall into something saying this is bid'ah and it's not even bid'ah. And sometimes as Shaykh Rabi' in his own house, he said, he opened his top button like this. And he said, you know what the Haddadis do? A group of people who become so harsh. He said, you know what they do? They open the top button like this and they have wala and bara over it. Love and hate because of this. If you are also like this, I love you. If you're not like this, I hate you. This is what they have. And this is just an example from the Shaykh. Other examples. Fiqh points. If you pray a second jama'ah in the masjid, I'm not with you. If you don't pray, I'm with you. Yani an area of fiqh, of difference of opinion amongst the ulama, they make it a position of wala ul bara. I love you because of that and I hate you because of that. Not an issue of usul. Not an issue of aqidah. Not an issue of fundamentals of this deen. And so they put their head forward and they have love and hate because of issues in fiqh or other trivial matters. And we shouldn't say trivial, because whoever does it, alhamdulillah, to imitate the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that's good. But whoever does it and he has wala al-bara, this is incorrect. So whoever does it, alhamdulillah. But in issue of aqidah, na'am. You have to have wala al-bara for aqidah, wala al-bara for manhaj. Na'am, you have that. Alhamdulillah. So we don't fall into the other extreme. Don't be from the mutasahilun and don't be from the mutanatti'un. Those who try to be harsh and this, and they don't even welcome the people. They don't even bring the people and guide the people and aid the people. Be balanced. وَخَيْرُ أُمُورِ أَوْسَطُهَا. The best example is the best of the affairs is the middle one. Between the two extremes. Between the two extremes. And you'll know that with being with the ulama and calling them regularly and asking them directly